Hey folks, Rob with Cherry City Woodworks. Today we are going to build a router table into the extension wing of my table saw. Been using this little benchtop router table forever, and it sucks, and I'm tired of moving it around. So why not take the footprint of one tool and make it for two tools? That'll be much more useful. I'll be able to use the fence of the table saw as the fence for my router table, and just be a much better solution overall. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, to get this project done, I've gone ahead and purchased the Kreg Precision Router Lift. Gonna get that all opened up here. Take a look at her. Got a bunch of little insert plates and a handle for raising and lowering it. Here's the actual router lift. And that's so cute. Instructions. Who uses that? Get out of here. We don't need that crap. So, that's our nice fancy new router lift. Now we're going to use my old Hitachi router. It's been good to me, but I hate the plunge base that comes on it. It's fantastic with the fixed base, but it's a terrible plunge base. I'm sorry, Hitachi, you got to up your game. So I'm going to pull the motor out of that. It's going into here. All that is going to go down over in here. Bam, just like that right there. And that is going to be my router table. I'll be able to use my table saw fence, go over there, and should work really well. So, I guess I should look at the actual instructions and see if I can figure out how I'm going to get this done. Alright, so I had to take these little things here and move them to different numbers based on my router. And now we just need to take our router, see if we can't get that wiggle down in there. Oh, it's thinking about it. Let me open this up just a skosh more. Now we just need to tighten this puppy up. And I think we got her. Now, if this was all that was involved, I would be thrilled. But that was literally just getting the router mounted into the router lift. There's so much more to do. Now we got to make the table. Alright, let me rearrange stuff and we'll get started on that. Alright, first thing before I cut the mill beam, this is the hole we're talking about here. We're going to cut some supports for it. The mill beam is only 3/4 of an inch thick. The holes that are there for mounting something here are lower than the mill beam is thick, so it needs some support. It is only particle board anyway. So I've got a scrap chunk of hickory here that we're going to cut down to a couple of supports. Now what I need this to be is 1 7/16. That's what we're going for. We got our little pieces of hickory all cut down. Got the table saw blade set to 3/4 of an inch high, and with a 1/4 inch gap between it and the fence. So what we're doing is we're making a rabbet that's going down into the hickory that's then going to support the millimeter. It's confusing, I know. You'll see, just watch. Alright, time to set the table saw up for the next cut. See how small my shop is? I'm gonna show you. Watch how hard this is for me. What a pain in the butt. That's why when I go to the home store, I buy sheet goods, I always have them cut them down for me. Get them manageable. There's a big difference between manageable in a real shop and manageable in my shop. Completely different thing. Alright, one last cut. Had to buy a whole sheet of melamine for a piece this big. Alright. I think this is the first video I've used my little pin nailer on. This thing's quite handy. As always, trusty old glue bot. Can't do nothing without that. So. There we have it. There's our little router table. Pardon me. Alright, so here we are. I think the way this is going to work, we use the hot glue gun to hot glue down these little strips of wood to act as a template for the router. I think this is going to work. I think. My only concern is I am not 100% sure if the hot glue will stick to melamine, because maybe the melamine's too smooth. Or maybe it'll stick too well, and then I'll have a heck of a time getting the strips off. I don't know the answer to either question, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. And if we have to start over from scratch, well, then we'll know. This piece I'm going to stick right in the middle. That is just support for the router. I really hope this works. I really hope this works. Alright, moment of truth, folks. I've got the Triton set up to make a plunge that is supposed to be the same depth as the router plate. So there's nothing left but to go for it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous, but hey, if it screws up, all we have to do is all of it over again. Okay, well, that kicked up a dust storm. But it looks like we got it. So you can see I routed a little bit more at the corners. The idea of that is you want a little more support at the corners for holding the router up. Feels like you need to hit those corners one more time real quick because it feels like they stuck up just a touch. So. Wow. Seems to have held exactly as long as I needed it to. Hopefully enough. Hot glue held enough, but with nothing at all to spare. So I'm going to drill a hole through this so I can get my jigsaw in there and cut the center section out. Alright, moment of truth, I'm not gonna lie, I am nervous. Please fit, please fit, please fit. Please. Okay. It does and it doesn't fit. This fits pretty good. Wish I had a little bigger radius bit. Would have made that corner a little bit more perfect, but that's okay. What I'm concerned about is it's not quite deep enough. And see, I didn't intend to remove my template until I test fit it to see if I needed to make it go a little bit deeper. But my test plate or my templates chose to remove themselves. So you gotta figure out how to get this just a skosh deeper. Be back with you when I figure that out. Okay, new plan. I have no idea whether or not it's gonna work. But we're gonna try it. So, as you can see, I've taken some painter's tape and gone all the way around it. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm going to put super glue on the tape and spray activator on the wood, stick the activator covered wood down on the super glue, thus super gluing the wood to the tape that I can then later peel up as long as the super glue doesn't soak through the tape, and super glue the whole thing to the melamine, and then I start over from scratch, but I don't really have another option. So we're either going to get this fixed or we're going to screw it up worse than it ever was. Either way, it should be fun. Let's do it. I am very confident we will get the template reattached, and that will allow us to then router down to the depth that we need it to be. My concern is, will we ever get the template back off? And I just don't know. That's all right. Seems pretty solid. Hopefully in a good way. Not in a I'm never coming off here again kind of way. Okay, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get it routed back out. It's done. Perfectly flush. The only thing I can figure out to do now is to test it. So we unlock it. Oh, wrong way. Whole thing comes up. place. Now I do have a switch coming that the router will be plugged in, and then that'll plug into the power extension, because I'm going to build a cabinet under here for all my router bits. But for now I can just reach down and turn on my router manually. Look at that. Worked absolutely beautifully. When we're done with it, unlock it. Drop this down below the surface. And I still have full use of my entire table saw. This sits just perfectly flush. Table saw fence goes right over it, no problem. So happy this is done. This is gonna make life so much easier. That's it, folks. Thank you so much for sticking with me through the router table build. It didn't exactly go perfect or to plan. Sometimes things don't. And the last thing I want to do is be disingenuous with you folks and pretend like everything works out perfectly all the time. Sometimes you gotta just kind of roll with the punches and make things work out. And usually with a little thought and hard work, you can figure out how to make things work. Or you start over and waste a bunch of material. I've done it both ways. Thanks again. We've got some really, really cool things planned for you. Sorry for the long break. I went on vacation. I went to Las Vegas. And now I'm back, full video making mode again. A lot of cool stuff coming up. It's gonna be about 2 days before I start my next video, but it's gonna be something that I'm really, really excited about, because it's gonna make my whole life in this shop so much easier, like a lot of the other things that I've done. Things are getting so much better in this shop. It's getting getting to be more of a place that I really enjoy being and making and creating and bringing you with me. So stick around. If you want to watch another video, got another one right here for you. Click on it, and if you don't mind, like, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm super appreciative. Thanks again, folks. Bye-bye.